Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel where we talk about property, business and working together as a couple. My name is AK and it is just myself today. However, the video that you're about to watch is from a couple of months ago where Lia and I go shopping for property on someone else's behalf. This is everything from sourcing and negotiating the property purchase, finding the right build team, running the numbers in detail and essentially everything in between. So let's take a look around the property.
What are we doing today?
We are just on our way to view a property that I'm trying to secure this off market, and this property is actually not going to be for ourselves.
No.
It's going to be for my brother. He's trying to get involved in property as well, and I said that I would try my best to help him. What's quite interesting is this is going to be a little sort of test bed for this type of project as well, where we actually do these projects for other people. So we'll be sourcing the property, negotiating the property, renovating all the getting the build team together and all that stuff, and helping him through with the entire process. So really exciting because it's actually
a good test.
Yeah, it is, and it's a huge project. I don't know where she's going.
Oh, I thought it was this one.
No, it's not that one.
I'm sorry. That's good that you know where we're going. Sorry.
Right, so yeah, it's going to be a really cool one. We'll be inside in just a moment, so come with us.
Okay, so this property is on 3 floors. Now, originally there was a fish and chip shop downstairs and then there was a residential flat on top. But this was a long time ago. This has since then been converted to 2 apartments. Now, the idea for us is to create 3 apartments now within this particular property. Now, you'll notice that there are currently 2 apartments here. There is one on the ground floor and also one on the first floor. Now, each of these apartments have sort of a living area and also a bedroom. There is a small kitchenette within this first floor apartment. It's pretty small, it's pretty tight. There is also a bathroom which has a shower, toilet and a basin. And yeah, all in all, this is a very small sort of apartment on the first floor there. Now, in the loft or in the attic, this is really interesting because this was designed to be a studio apartment, which actually had planning granted. Now, the terms for this were that as long as the work started within 3 years, that this planning then remains. And so this is great news for us because it means we don't have to go through any planning applications, but it's something there that is currently being underutilized that we want to bring back to obviously house somebody else, but also increase return on this particular investment. Downstairs is obviously a little bit bigger. There is a slightly bigger living space. The kitchen is much bigger, much nicer place to be. There's also a shower and a toilet downstairs as well. You'll notice throughout this property, a lot of the windows are actually pretty decent as they are as well, which is always a bonus because it just means that it's one less thing to change, one less expense. Now outside, the space is absolutely huge. There's an outbuilding which currently is just used for housing wood and rubbish and just things that have accumulated over time. The garden is absolutely huge as well, and it is shared at the moment with the next door neighbour. We'll probably end up putting a fence there just to obviously make it a bit more private for the tenants. But as you can see, it is a very interesting property to work with.
Okay, we've just left the meeting with the owner and the builder that we took around. So, how do you feel it went?
I hadn't seen on the top floor before because it was boarded up, so I was actually quite surprised that it looked like it looked.
Yeah.
So the owner did say to me like, oh, it's the same sort of layout, but yeah, I must have just misunderstood. It's not a problem, but I thought it was like finished. I thought it was 2 beds basically,
yeah,
2 rooms. So a little bit disappointing. We're only gonna probably achieve 5 beds out of it, but again, it is what it is. I'm gonna get the measurements across to the builder. We'll start to look at some numbers and some very loose sort of calculations,
like top line figures.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to call my brother as well and just kind of explain the situation to him. Really look at the numbers for a 5 bed and also really look at the numbers for keeping 3 flats.
And have a look at the numbers potentially on an extension because how big that garden was.
Yeah.
I know we've never done extension before, but it's just massive out there.
It's huge.
Okay guys, it's a few hours later. We are back at home and you have run the measurements through your very special machine.
There's been no measurements run through a very special machine.
What did you do with the measurements then? Just wrote them down?
Yeah, just wrote them down basically. And then sent them across to the builder. So now he can take a look at those and
get a quote. Yeah,
we'll see what he comes back with. I think if it's too high, we'll have to look at alternatives, maybe even look at another builder, who knows. But yeah, I'm excited to get the numbers back just to kind of see where we're sitting at the moment.
Well done.
There isn't a difference doing it for someone else.
Step 1, complete.
Sorry, do that again.
Yeah, step 1.
Wait, go step 1, then complete, and then do it.
Step 1, complete.
I need to look at the numbers again and go through my calculations, because if we can get a studio on the top floor, a 2-bed flat on the first floor, and a 2-bed flat on the ground floor, if that is possible, like the builder's saying, then it's going to affect the DUV quite a bit. It'd be interesting to see what that option looks like. Because at the moment we've looked at what a 5-bed HMO will be, what 2 apartments will be, but I haven't actually looked at what 3 apartments will be, because I just felt like that studio on the top floor was just going to be too tight. Yeah, let us know about that day in terms of the viewing, and I'll confirm the second builder as well.
It's the next day, same t-shirt, don't judge. What about if the top floor apartment, which was smaller in terms of like walk around, included the attic as a part of it, the roof studio, part of flat 2.
Oh, like a mezzanine.
So like so it's like an upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You have like a bedroom up there.
That's what I thought.
With a skylight.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool, and it would like obviously increase the value of apartment number 2 up there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I originally based my calculations on, but it's interesting because actually to have a 3-bed and a 2-bed, so a 2-bed on the ground floor and then a 3-bed upstairs, in terms of the done up value, in terms of what the value you'd get on the back end, actually might be less than having a studio, a 2-bed and a 2-bed.
Yeah.
I need to look at the numbers again to have a look.
Yeah.
But there's definitely options there. It's just now about getting the right numbers from the builders. So the first quote we had, he looks like a very good builder. I think I would encourage anyone that is using a new builder, because I am potentially going to be using a new builder on this, to go and check out the builder's work on other projects, live projects they've got, to have a look at the quality, maybe speak to some of the people that they've done work for as well. This particular builder, because they're a larger builder, they do charge a VAT, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth, because our business we're not VAT registered. So you're just basically paying an extra 20% on top of everything, which is... It just annoys me.
So you said it's annoying because we're not VAT registered. That's correct, but we're actually not allowed to be VAT registered unless we started a whole new company that's just construction. Yeah. Because you can't be VAT registered as a landlord that charges rent. You can't be charging your customers, which are your tenants, rent with VAT on top. So if we opened up a new company that was just specifically for the building stuff, that company could opt into being VAT registered. Or you wait until that business is making over 85,000 a year, and then you've got no choice but to become VAT registered, because you have to be. But a lot of people opt into VAT so that they can save, because VAT only affects the final consumer.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like business to business. I'm not an accountant, but...
So next week I'm trying to line up a second builder to go, and someone we've used before, actually on our last HMO, to go around to quote for a 5-bed HMO and also quote for 2 flats and 3 flats, and just see where he lands. He's not as big an outfit, so he won't be charging VAT, so that makes a big difference. But pros and cons to like someone who's a bit bigger versus someone who isn't, just in terms of like the professionalism, the processes, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We can talk about more of this when we're like on site doing these types of projects a bit more, if anyone's interested. Yeah, so just trying to line that up next week. It's a bit of a logistical game.
Yeah, you look a bit like you're in distress.
I'm like this.
Yeah, it's really dramatic. Like, it's a little bit Prince Charming, sort of. It's quite funny.
Like I said, we are working with my brother to help him with this deal from start to finish. And when we first started discussing with him, what he was looking for, the 2 strategies really that came up were buy-to-let and HMO. Now, when we started to look at it originally, we actually first of all started to look at it from an HMO perspective. So similar to some of the other projects that we have done, we were looking to create maybe a 5 or maybe a 6-bed house of multiple occupancy. When we started to look at it from a dimensions, measurements perspective, and also a return on investment perspective, it actually wasn't too far off what we would achieve from a buy-to-let perspective, which is kind of interesting. And so when also discussing with my client, who is my brother in this case, he actually sort of also mentioned that he wanted to be as hands-off as he could. Now, obviously, buy-to-let, again, as a strategy, lends itself very well to being a little bit more hands-off because, you know, you're looking at longer-term lets and people generally staying in those properties longer, treating it more like a family home, bringing all their furniture in, for example. And so buy-to-let, again, just suited what he was looking for a little bit more. And so we started to look at creating 3 flats. So 2 one-bed flats and a studio on the top. Now, as I said previously, we actually benefit from the historical planning permission that was gained for this property. The planning permission stipulated that it would stay valid if works were to commence within 3 years. So again, we've benefited from that because on the top floor there, the works have started. They are not complete, but they have started, which again helps us in this case as well. So the idea for this current project is to renovate it so that we have a ground 1-bed flat, a first floor 1-bed flat, and a loft converted studio apartment as well. So that is the current idea. We are going to keep you fully updated on this particular project because I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be something a little bit different to what Lia and I have done before as well. Looking forward to keeping you guys updated. Now, if you are interested in this type of project or potentially working with Lia and I, please check out the description box below. There'll be some links in there where you can contact us and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you haven't already, please like and give us a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. And we will see you in the next video. See ya.